The graph that predicts the Denver Broncos' chances of making the playoffs is starting to look a lot like the Dogecoin graph when it was going to the moon. I just hope this one breaks a little different and I don't end up losing all my family's money. We're going to dive into the Broncos' playoff chances, what needs to happen, what I think is going to happen, and why it is a sure thing. Let's do it. If you're new to this channel, my name is Ben. I break down all things Denver sports. I'm glad to have you here for the ride. So again, like I mentioned here, we just start to see exponential growth from being a 1-5 team with some really hard games in a row, with a road game in Buffalo, with a game against Kansas City, with a game against the hottest team in football. You would have guessed we're tanking for Caleb Williams. So many people were saying those exact things like, well, the Broncos will cut Russ and either have Caleb Williams or Drake May or Bo Nix. None of that is true because the Broncos are going to have a late first-round pick at best because we're making a playoff push. Let me show you why. So if we look at this, right, 27% does not seem like a great chance. You just got to remember the teams that we just beat and let that just put so much wind in your sails. So we have a huge game this week against the Cleveland Browns. I actually have a chance tonight to talk to one of the Cleveland Browns broadcasters, and I'm going to ask him tons of questions about what we need to be prepared for in that game. But I think that actually is our toughest game remaining on here and probably our most crucial because they are above us in the playoff standings. That AFC North is tough, but it is home. They are playing a backup quarterback. They are coming off of a very, very physical game against their rivals, the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I'm going to predict Broncos win that game. All right. So that right away is bumping us up to a 38% chance of the playoffs. We then go on the road, and I have a video coming out about this, but the NFL bet on us again. We were supposed to be in that second Sunday slot, which is just stacked with other great games. And I think the NFL knows that this is a playoff matchup, that the Texans and the Broncos are both making a playoff push, and that Russell Wilson is going to come out and teach CJ Stroud, like, hey, young buck, here's how you play quarterback in the NFL. And so that is a crucial game. So we're playing in that 11 a.m. Mountain slot in Houston. Last time we played in the 11 a.m. Mountain slot in Houston, another quarterback, number 3, had his best game as in his career, and that was Drew Lock. And I drank all the Drew Lock Kool-Aid. But I think we match up really well against the Texans. I think the Texans are going to be good for a long time, but this does scare me a little bit. But I think the Broncos win against Houston. Next week, we play the Los Angeles Chargers, and you can just see that the train is coming off the track with the Los Angeles Chargers. You see Bosa most likely out for the year. So let's go. We got Broncos winning again. So right off the bat, if we go 3 in a row, which sounded ridiculous before, but we just beat 3 way, way harder teams than we have right here. So we're sitting at almost an 80% chance of the playoffs if we win 3 in a row. We then go to the Lions. Now, interesting thing about this game is that this game also could be flexed into several different slots. This game could be on a Sunday night. It could also be on Saturday night. So it depends on how things are going. The league is supposed to make a decision on that. Now, I live in Michigan. It is going to hurt my entire being if the Broncos don't beat the Lions because everyone and their mom is going to talk mad smack to me. So I'm really worried about this game. I want to say we're going to win, but just to protect my heart, I'm going to say the Broncos lose to the Detroit Lions, and it even hurt to just touch that button. But I think it'll be hard. We're obviously going to bounce back. I have a bad feeling this game is going to get flexed out of Christmas Eve. It's the primetime game on Christmas Eve, and I think we'll get flexed out of it, not because we're bad for a change, but because the Patriots are just horrible, and I don't even really want to watch the Patriots. It'll feel good to beat Bill Belichick. The footballs will be half inflated. He'll tape our practice. It doesn't matter. We're gonna win, but Broncos are definitely going to beat the Patriots. I think at this point, look, if we have this, we're at 85% chance of making the playoffs. I think we win against the Chargers, and obviously we're going to win against the Raiders. So if we do that, obviously if we end up this whole season after 0-5 only having 6 losses, of course we're going to make the playoffs. But can we look at a couple situations and what would break here, and what would happen if we lost a couple of these other games, and how does that impact our playoff chances? So let's look here. If we lost this week to the Browns 4 in a row, we come down a little bit. What happens if we lose to the Browns at home? You still see that if we end up with 2 losses, that's an 87% chance of making the playoffs still. So I like that. What if we are to lose one of these games to the Chargers? You see, like, that really, if we end up with 3 losses, that could be, and 3 losses to the wrong team could really, really be bad for us. So if we beat the Browns, but we lose to the Chargers and Raiders, we're at, 25% chance. So overall, if you are a betting person, you're going to want to bet on the Broncos because we have defied odds. We have the coach that everybody wants, the coach that you totally understand now why we gave up 2 high draft picks for him. And I just think things are setting up really, really well for the Broncos to make a playoff push. I want you there for it. So hop on board. There is plenty of room on the Broncos bandwagon, and we hope you are there for it. Because if you try to hop on in January, we're going to tell you to wait till next year. Broncos country, let's ride.